All right, today I am making Greek potatoes. And when I was in Greece many years ago, I was at this party and there was no food. And a whole group of 80 of us were in a backyard. We arrived for lunch. And after about 15-20 minutes, these cars came driving in and they had food tied to the top of the cars. And it was Greek potatoes and chicken. So I tried so hard to learn how to make the potatoes as good as they did. So I wouldn't say they're as good, but I pretty much figured them out to where my husband thinks they're really good. So what I'm gonna do is juice 2 lemons. So this calls for a lot of lemon. And this is my favorite kind of lemon juicer because it gets so much juice out and it's something cheap and easy. And, but if you don't have one of these, you can always use a fork, all right? So I'll get these juiced. And I try to, usually before I start, I'll take a fork and scrape out the lemon seeds so I don't get so much in the broth there. So I've got potatoes, and I got these pre-peeled, except I left this little bit. Put away my potato peeler, but I guess the reason why I kept the skin is I wanted to show you want to use the Idaho potatoes with the thick skin, okay? So let me do this. And a little bit of skin left on there is fine. In fact, you can keep the skin if you want. And then you cut them into wedges. And throw them in a bowl, big bowl. So I love the flavor of the lemon, and the Greeks use a lot of oregano. So they're going to have oregano, olive oil, the chicken broth. So this is 2 pounds of potatoes, and I'm going to grab a strainer. Where'd my strainer go? Okay, I don't know where my strainer is. So, how should I do this?
I'm just filming. I'll cut it out.
Oh, just find it and you'll cut it out? Okay. Just, strainer, because I don't want the lemon seeds in there. The pulp slows it down, so just stir it around to get that juice. Okay. And I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And 8 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of oregano. I like my organic oregano leaves. So 2 of those. Some pepper. About a 1/2 teaspoon. And then about 3 cups of chicken broth. This is organic chicken stock, and it's a 32-ounce container, so I'm going to put in about 2/3 of this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is get a broiling pan. And I'm going to put the potatoes and the juice. Let me kind of stir it up a bit. I'm going to put them in the broiling pan. And I'm going to make sure that all of these are getting the liquid on it because that lemon flavors it so well. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in the oven for about 45 minutes. And all of this will absorb and soak into the potatoes and it'll be delicious. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to open my oven first. So it's already set to 400 degrees. And voila, we'll see what it's like when it comes out. So I'll let that cook for a couple minutes. And while I'm doing that,
Okay,
I'll
I want to
go
repeat
ahead.
that for a reel.
Okay,
My grandmother.
okay.
Hang on. Go.
So I'm going to cook this slowly. My Italian grandmother said the trick to delicious food is cooking it very slowly. It enables all of those flavors to get blended and melded together. So it makes for delicious food. Oh, forgot something. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a teaspoon and a half of salt. About a half a teaspoon of pepper. Then a teaspoon of my organic cinnamon. You know, as Americans, we think of cinnamon as dessert. So a lot of other countries like India and Greece use cinnamon in main dishes and they're not sweet. So again, stirring, letting the flavors meld together. And then I use the cinnamon stick. Now, cinnamon sticks, if you go to the grocery store, are really expensive. So my hack is I go to the Indian store and they sell bags of cinnamons in a larger quantity for less money than what you can get for a small package at the grocery store. So I'm going to add the cinnamon to that. And what's nice when you're done, you can also use the cinnamon as a garnish on the top of the dish. Put another one in for good measure. Okay. All right. The next thing I'm going to add are the green beans. So I use half this package, so about 2.5 pounds of green beans. And they're frozen. And what I like about the frozen is that there's the water that's on the beans. So, so it creates the extra steam and moisture. I'm going to get this stirred. And once I have it stirred, I'm going to cover it with the lid. And I'm going to come back about every 10 or 15 minutes and stir. And I'm going to do that for about an hour. And you'll see they look completely different than these and they taste so good. Okie dokie.